Hello, everyone. Thank you. Welcome. Today we're covering the Ark of the Covenant, but we're looking at it from a different perspective, say a different spectrum. We're going to look at the Ark of the Covenant through the lens of the Gleason's map as an orientation system. We're going to look at it through the lens of Gematria, through the names. Let's just say that the power of the ark, say of the significance of this, long sought after thing, is actually in the gematria of the names. And when you see it, it's kind of, it's fine if one thing lines up, but if everything lines up, well, there are things that we got to consider here. So I just finished a paper. Actually, I've finished two papers, and I published them on sonosgematria.org, and you can download them. And the reason I did that is because, of course, trying to fulfill, because all feedback is good. So I think it's good to lay out things so that you can read it once, and if there's something there that you can't understand, you can ask a question, and I love to answer, because what I found is absolutely astonishing. In my heart and mind, these are the answers that I'm looking for in this world. Now, I also have a little podcast that I'd like you to listen to. It's an AI podcast. I know it's annoying to listen to the AI voices. I know. I have the same problem. However, it does give a good summary of the paper that I present on the website, sonosgematria.org. So if it intrigues you, you can go and download this paper. Now, oh, here I am. Thank you for joining me. So, front of you see the Gleason's map. Now, I am going to just kind of point out now the significance of what we're going to be looking for. Okay. All right. None of that now. None of that. Okay, I was attempting to make it a little bigger. I guess I can't do that. All right. The reference points are the dimensions of the ark. Now, to me, that's a dead giveaway. Last night in my dreams, it was like, of course, I'm thinking about this, so it's just natural that I dream about it, because I actually work stuff out in my dreams. It's just the way my mind works. So the dimensions is 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubit wide, 1.5 cubit high. And so what it tells me, what that shows me, and the way my mind works, is a cross. Because if I take a cube, if I unfold the cube, right, what I get is the long side is 2.5 cubes. To the center of the center cube, we've got 2.5 cubes. And that is the 2.5 measure of length, because it's from the center. We're going to the center with this cross. And then the width is 1.5 cubes to the center again. So that sums up the dimensions of the Ark of the Covenant. And the covenant is not like a box. The covenant is resonance. It's significance. It's the whole thing is about where God meets you, so that God can resonate, or you can resonate with God. That is the Ark of the Covenant. Now, I found some very, very interesting things, And if we look on the equidistant map, the Gleason's map, we can now see ley lines as they are. And I've got some very interesting things to talk about here. Now, if this will allow me, I would like to show you. There's a line that goes from the human rights, which is in the center of North America. It's a center geological landmark of North America. Now, they built the building. It looks like an inverted spiral. And there's a crazy ritual that they performed when they opened this place. And you got to hear this because it's public knowledge. So anyway, the from the center of North America, and I'm going to draw it out. It goes like this. It goes all the way up. If you go to Adams Peak, right, it goes straight through the pole to Adams Peak. Now, the distance from Adams Peak is like that of the Ark's dimension. So the dimension, the distance from Adams Peak to the North Pole is that 2.5, and the distance from Winnipeg to the pole is like that 1.5. Now, here's where it gets very, very interesting, because you see, I believe that the true 0-degree line is actually at the Catstone in Ishnik in Ireland. And I do believe this to be so because, like, it just cannot be coincidence that if we've got these sacred sites that line up perfectly. Now, if I draw a line now from Ishnik across there, okay, what you see is a near perfect cross. And this cross has the proportions of the Ark of the Covenant. 2.5 long, 1.5 wide, 1.5 high. So we're looking at multi-dimensional space here, right? So it's incredible to think about. Sure, there's skepticism. But once you break into the Gematria, once you break into the geometry, once you break into the actual artifact of information, this ark is about the place where you meet with God. And look, let's just say the Gleason's map is showing us space and time. Now, as a human being, you're made like this. Your time, like there's a time where it comes, where the Ark of the Covenant, where you meet those places. Say, for example, here's a good one. The Jordan River, for example, is where the Ark of the Covenant split the waters. Okay, if you enter the Gematria value, if you enter Jordan River into the Sonos Gematria at sonosgematria.net, you will find that the Jordan River is the same value as prime meridian. I can show you this. Why don't we do this? Give me a second here. Scene 2. If we go to Gematria, see, prime meridian is the same as the Jordan River, and that's not the only thing. Say Ark of the Covenant. So look, you're still with me. The Ark of the Covenant is the same as the Ark of the Resonance, is the Ark of the Pattern, is the constellations. Do you see what I'm saying? So these are the march of the words. These are the mnemonic, archetypal, resonant chain harmonics of the word. And so it's, to me, it's very revealing, because, I do recognize one thing, that if God speaks, if it is something that is to be written, then it's not written without result, or it's not said without result. It's not heard without result in God's name, because that is the definition of in vain. So we don't use God's words or God's name in vain. So why would God tell us and have so-called prophets write in a book a story that is in vain? So it has to be of use. It has to be with result. Like, what is this Ark of the Covenant? Okay, it's a time and space coordinate system. So on the Earth, the true 0-degree meridian goes through the Catstone of Ishnik in Ireland. And so let's just say that I think it was in 1899, the British Israelite Foundation went into Ireland and vandalized their sacred sites looking for the Ark of the Covenant, right? And if you go, and the same people today, right, they claim it's ridiculous things that they claim. What I see is that, it's simple enough. If you just followed what Jesus said, look, seek the kingdom first. And where is God? God is within the kingdom. And that is within the heart. Yes? So let's just say the earth is an anagram of the heart. Where are you going to meet? Where are you going to meet with God? You're going to meet with God in the center of your heart, the center line, the prime meridian of your heart, at the Jordan River, where the Ark of the Covenant splits the waters. Now, if you want to know about that in the sense of the constellations, that's between Pisces and Aries. And if we want to bring it into further correspondence, let's talk about Moses, which is Pisces, because Pisces is the same value as Moses. And so when the sun comes into Pisces, let's forget it's called Pisces. Let's just say it's Moses now. So that is the 12th sign. That is when everything gets to reset. And let's just say that Moses split the waters. Yeah, he split the Red Sea. Well, Aries, 312 is the value of Red Sea. And if you look at the address of the British Israelite Association, what is it? It's 312, 345. That is, yeah, you guessed it. That is 312 is the Red Sea, and 345 is the Pythagorean theorem for making a perfect square. So look, call it that. Call it 312 is Earth. Say the square is the 90 degrees, which draws out the Ark of the Covenant, the agreement. It's a contract. It's a square contract of human rights, that you can go to that place and reach God. You didn't see this when I did that. Okay, so the Ark of the Covenant, let me show you here. See, Ark of the Covenant is the same as the Ark of Resonance, the Ark of the Contract, the Ark of the Pattern, okay? The constellations, Aquarius, Pisces. See, the thing is nothing is arbitrary here. Nothing is coincidental. Everything is perfect. So I understand myself, like, the Ark of the Covenant is a coordinate system, a place in space and time. So when time comes, let's just say at sunrise or sunset, these are times where you can actually connect with the resonance or the pattern of God. And so as an instrument, I am, what am I? Right? I am a soul with conscious awareness of being in a body. And so I am like every day I am seeking the kingdom. That's all I do. That is all I do in this life. Every day I'm seeking kingdom. Every minute, every second, and every breath I take, even when I sleep, I'm seeking the kingdom. That's the purpose of my life. However, how I do it is through the means of, understanding harmony, understanding resonance, understanding what blocks my resonance, like what stops me from resonating, right? Like, if you have a problem with something, if you don't prefer something, that's your right, but don't let it drag you down, right? Don't have a hate on for anything or anybody, because like that is the blocker. And if you're a person that's like, you're judging this, you're judging that, and you really, you're really stuck and bent on criticism and such as like this, like that is another blocker. So, for me, it's more important for me to connect to God than it is to judge or to fix something or somebody in this godforsaken world. I do recognize this world is Satan's world. Look, that's it, right? So there's no trouble to meet Satan in this world, but what you want to be doing is meeting God at the Ark of the Covenant, at the seat of mercy, where, let's just say, is where your struggle is. Let's just look at that. Let's look at the Gematria of seat of mercy. Then I'm going to play this little AI podcast for you guys, which might be better than me. So the seat of mercy is, right? That's very strange. Is there another word that was called by? So let's go and play this this podcast and see what they have to say. And by the way, go to sonusgematria.org. You can download the paper and you can read it for yourself. And I put all the information on there about the rituals at the human rights by Freemasons. I wrote about the Cat Stone in Ireland. I put the degrees in there, locations, and all that stuff. So all the information that I may miss here, I've written about it in the paper. So there you go. So have a listen now, and we'll see. I know it's annoying to listen to these guys, but have a listen.
Welcome to this episode. Today, we're diving into a fascinating exploration that connects the Ark of the Covenant, not just as a biblical artifact, but as a global geometric and symbolic reality encoded in geography, gematria, and celestial alignments.
Yeah, it's quite a unique approach. The document we're discussing links biblical text, ancient sacred sites, modern architecture, and astronomy to reveal a hidden cross laid out on the Earth itself. And the author argues that the Ark isn't lost or buried. It's recoverable through coordinates and confirmed by the sky.
Exactly. So, we're unpacking this complex interplay of geometry, gematria, geography, and astronomy that underpins this thesis. Let's start with the arc's dimensions and material, which is where the document begins.
Right. The ark's dimensions, as given in Exodus chapter 25, verse 10, are very precise. 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, and 1.5 cubits high. What's striking is the geometric insight that if you unfold a cube's 6 faces, you get a cruciform shape, a cross made of squares.
And the unfolded cube's dimensions correspond exactly to the arc's dimensions: length of 2.5 squares and width of 1.5 squares from the outer edge to the center. This isn't metaphorical, it's a geometric fact, so the arc's dimensions encode across.
That's a powerful point. And then there's the material, acacia wood, which carries a Gematria value of 450 in the Sonus Gematria system. This number isn't arbitrary either.
No, it's not. The 450 band includes terms like circling, spiral, druids, north, prism, octagon, and distance. And when you subtract 360 from 450, you get 90 degrees, the right angle, which is the carpenter's square, the corner of the cross.
Oh, what happened there? Let's see. All right, seems we lost our connection for that function. In any case, go to sonosgematria.org and you can download this paper. It's open to the public. It's free, and yeah, I mean, for me, it's very, very simple. And not only that, but isn't it?
Plus, 90 degrees corresponds to 0 longest day, maximum light. So the ark's material encodes geometry, cardinal direction, the solar calendar, and the carpenter's tool. It's like the container is built from its own instructions.
It's a beautiful layering of symbolism and structure. The ark is literally constructed from geometry and cosmic timing embedded in its wood.
Moving on. The document identifies 3 sacred points on Earth that define a cross. The first is the Canadian Museum for Human Rights in Winnipeg, Canada, at about 49 degrees 53 minutes north, 97 degrees 8 minutes west.
The second is Adams Peak in Sri Lanka, at roughly 6 degrees 49 minutes north, 80 degrees 30 minutes east. It's sacred to multiple religions and is said to bear a footprint in stone where heaven and earth meet.
Okay. All right. So he says we have a good connection. All right. My apologies. My apologies on that.
And the third is Usneek in Ireland, at 53 degrees 29 minutes north, 7 degrees 33 minutes west. It's the sacred center of Ireland, the navel, where Eriu, the goddess who gave Ireland its name, is said to be buried.
What's remarkable is that Usneek lies within 1.5 degrees of the exact longitudinal midpoint between Winnipeg and Adams Peak. The horizontal arm of the cross runs almost due east-west, bearing about 87.5 degrees.
All right, guys. It seems like the Adobe Acrobat is not going to work for us. But no, it's all good. You get the point. The Ark of the Covenant is the cross itself. And to me, I believe that is the power that is taken away. And it's taken away by changing the stories and make you look the other way. And so, but when you're able to see through those stories and arrive at the actual coordinates, I believe that your subconsciousness will take you there. And I believe that you begin to resonate with God, because like it's very hard to make these presentations, because
And the arm runs north-south through Uisnich. The arc's cross dimensions of 2.5 by 1.5.
That's a nuisance. But yeah, it's you can download the article and you can have AI give you the overview of it yourselves, and to begin to understand what I'm talking about. And I wouldn't do this podcast if I didn't feel it useful. You understand what I'm saying? So like my imperfect presentation of this is kind of irrelevant, because the information kind of outweighs the point of this presentation, to tell you that you have personal access to the Ark of the Covenant and the instructions given to it, and it's on the cross. It is on the cross in space and time. In space, it is upon the earth. It runs from human rights to Adam's Peak. It intersects from the Cat Stone in Uisnich in Ireland, which is the center of its 5 provinces, and it's where they have their summer solstice rituals and bonfires. It's quite significant, and I believe this should be the original prime meridian, and the prime meridian, again, is the Ark of the Covenant. And so I think that's the only thing left to do is for you to discover that yourself. And I think that's how it works. Go download the articles, read it for yourself, and right. You can go to the sonusgematria.net, and then to understand the mantras. The mantras are about this. It works around that. It's all about space and time meditation. It's a way to focus yourself, bring yourself into alignment with what is written and how it is written in the substrates of subconsciousness, and what is written throughout the harmonics of nature. And that's how it works. So you don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be anything special. You just have to have a soul. And that soul is flowing back to its source. It's kind of like water flowing back to its source. So, okay. Thank you very much. Bye for now.